This week, I travel across America by plane, train, and automobile as I embark on a mission to tick off my last 5 American states. You know, I've lived in this country for 2 years now, and despite that, I've still only been to 45 of these 50 states, and it bugs me. There's still 5 left to go. So I thought, what better way to end this year than by taking a little road trip, or plane trip rather, and ticking off those last 5 states. My first stop today was to Washington's Union Railway Station. Alright then, first stop, Washington Union Station, to get on a train that's going to take me to my first 2 states of the trip. We're taking the Amtrak Acela today. First stop to Baltimore, Maryland. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? This is Union Station here in Washington, D.C., where the Acela trains go from, the fast whizzy ones. And there's I think there's an underground station here as well for the metro that's down there. But we're taking the Acela today. It wasn't long until it was time to get on my train out of D.C. Sorry.
I'm looking at the back.
Right, we're only a few minutes out of Washington DC, but we're already entering state number 46 for me. This is Maryland, home of the chocolate chip cookie, of course, if you're British. I don't know, do they have Maryland cookies abroad? Why do they call them Maryland? You get them everywhere. But anyway, this is Maryland, literally on the outskirts of Washington DC, but I've never been there until now. And we're scooting through it, whatever blistering speed the Acela train is doing. I thought that this would be a great video to do, to basically round off the year and talk about 2024, talk a little bit about 2025 as well, we've got coming up, and yeah, look back a little bit on the year and see what it's been like, really. And it just seemed like a good way to do it, really, as we do a whistle-stop tour of all these states.
Good afternoon, Pat.
So then, 2024, in one word, how would I describe it? Probably, in one word, hectic. Maybe crazy. Just an absolutely insane year, for good and for bad, really. From my point of view, there's been some amazing moments this year in terms of like the YouTube channel and everything. It's grown ridiculously this year, and I've had some videos that have done really well, and yeah, I've done some really amazing things this year. But equally, it's been really, really tough to get through. Some really low points this year, I have to say. To be honest, a little bit burnt out at the moment, and I don't want to make this into a negative video. We're thinking positive. We're thinking for next year it's going to be better. But when you look at how many flights I've done this year, which I'll mention later on, I mean, it just tells you just how crazy this year has been. I mean, I've been seriously ill 4 times this year, and I'm never ill. Normally I'm running that much on that much energy that I don't tend to get ill, but this year I have. And it started off January, I went to London, got COVID, knocked me on my backside for a bit. March, I fractured a rib, broke my rib, and that's an injury that I'm still only just getting over now. I've been in pain until just recently with that. I got food poisoning after Air India, which wasn't pleasant. Then I got pneumonia after my trip to London, another trip to London. I picked up pneumonia on that trip, and that was bad. I had to abandon a trip, fly home, and get to the urgent care, and they had me on a nebulizer, all sorts of stuff for that. I was laid up in bed for over a week with that. That was not fun. And I just kind of have a feeling that this is because I'm so pushing myself too much this year, and I think it has been a bit crazy. Anybody who runs their own business will attest to that, to the fact that even though things are going great, you want them to go better all the time, and you just want to push yourself more and more and more. And I think one thing that I need to change for next year, if nothing else, is I need to slow down and just, I don't know how. I don't want to slow down, but I'm getting on. I'm getting old, and I'm not as young as I used to be. And sometimes these trips really do take it out of you. And I think this year has kind of proven that I can't go on forever the way I have been. The question is, what do I do? Alright then, officially in Delaware, state number 47. We'll be arriving into Wilmington in a few minutes. This train's crazy fast. It's only taken just over an hour to get from Washington, D.C. all the way up to Wilmington by American standards. That's like riding on a bullet. Alright, welcome to Wilmington, Delaware, state number 47 for me. Now we're going to get on a train in a few minutes and head back south again to DC. Let's go and do it. As I walked down the platform in Wilmington, though, I spotted a familiar face. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to meet you.
I have stepped off the train at Wilmington, and who should I find but this guy, Mr. Miles in Transit.
And there's nowhere I'd rather be than Wilmington, Delaware on this freezing day.
Freezing cold Sunday afternoon, where everything's shut.
See, we'll see if we can find something.
We'll see if we can find something to eat, yeah, and grab a bite to eat, and then you're coming back down to Washington.
Yes.
Nice. If you don't know Miles, by the way, he has an amazing YouTube channel, Miles in Transit. I'll pop a link on the screen.
Oh,
Basically, think the American Jeff Marshall.
Yeah, I like to think my pitch is going to be, it's like if you take your daredevilry of like flying these obscure airlines that no one's ever heard of and do it with American transit systems.
Yes.
I think that's kind of like sort of what I do.
So like you rode across the country on Greyhound before I did.
And I didn't stay in a hotel in the middle.
You didn't stay in a fancy hotel in the middle, no. But as well, though, you do Amtrak, these crazy Amtrak journeys, and you literally just take them in the cheapest seats.
Right.
And go like halfway across the country. I couldn't do that. Like, I watched you one recently where you went from Florida up to
Chicago.
To Chicago, yeah, and just
47 hours.
in a regular seat. Like,
yeah.
No, I couldn't do that. If you want to watch that sort of thing, then this is the guy.
Thanks so much.
Well, it turns out that Wilmington, Delaware on a Sunday afternoon, there's not much open.
We tried to go to a food hall that Google Maps said was open, and it was open,
yes,
but there was nothing open.
There's nothing open inside it, so yeah. So we're just looking over there. There's a Greyhound bus over there. Do you want to get on it, Miles?
I think that's giving us both PTSD.
It is. It is, yeah. It's got. You were saying it's got this weird new livery.
Awful new livery. It says enabled by Flix. The Flix gods are letting the Greyhound.
Flix was the enabler. They're the enabler. That sounds really wrong, doesn't it?
I love it.
Anyway, let's go back and try and get somewhere warm. Anyway, I might grab a sandwich or something, and then we've got a train to catch back down to Washington, D.C. So yeah, let's go and do it.
The thing I like about not being full time is I don't have to worry about how videos do, which is nice. I mean, I still get it doesn't matter. I still get sad when it. I still get sad when it underperforms, but at least I don't have to be like too upset about it.
Well, this is the thing, and you get to the point where it's just you have to release, you have to keep pushing, and it's not just that you have to. I mean, I could take a break now, I could just not release for a month, and we're going to be okay. We'd still get money coming in. It's not going to, but my brain tells me that I need to work harder to keep getting money, and you get into that whole mentality and you never stop.
Well, then that YouTube Studio app is showing like grey down arrows. I was like, oh, I don't want to see the grey down arrows.
I hate that. In fact, at one point I installed a plugin in Chrome that hid the, you know, when it shows you like what position of 10 it is on the home page.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated that. I hated when they brought that in, because if I wanted to ignore it, I could do.
Yeah.
Before they put that in, I could just not even look at how it was doing relatively. I could just go to the comments and whatever. But then they put that in, and it stopped me logging into the studio completely, because I don't want to see how it's doing, especially if I'm on a trip. If I'm like in the middle of a filming trip trying to be happy and jolly, and then you look at a video and it's like, it's 10 of 10. It put you don't think it will, but it will put you in a downer, you know.
Yeah.
I've actually got dinner on this one. I didn't have time for it on the last one. What have you got for the jerk chicken?
The jerk chicken, yeah.
Nice. It was remarkably quick to bring it out.
Like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know if that's impressive or worrying, I don't know. I've gone for the enchiladas, which they look a little bit like, it's a little bit like microwave meals, but
I think they might be, but at least we have the Amtrak dinner roll, which is the best thing ever.
It's warm. It does look nice, It's a nice bun.
Yeah.
Nice buns.
Either.
Yeah.
We both bought tickets for business class, but Noel did a fair bid and I did a poor bid, and we both got up.
And we both got it. So how much was your bid?
$86.
Oh shit! I paid 120.
I mean, it's
for my upgrade bid first. So, oh well.
Still don't think it's worth it at all. But
it's a $120 microwave meal. It'll do. Oh, there's more. Yeah, sorry. I didn't get to go in just yet. Thank you. Alright then, back in Washington DC. How was that? How was your Acela ride?
I still think first class isn't worth it, but you told me you had done a fair bid, so I wanted to counter with a poor bid.
Yeah, I know, amazing. I feel ripped off a bit actually, but never mind.
The food was fine.
It was okay. I got a can of Coke.
The roll is amazing.
I got a roll and a can of Coke, so that was worth $120, wasn't it? Anyway, you're back off home to Boston.
Yes, flying home.
Flying home. Who are you flying?
American.
American, nice. So you'll be home tonight. I'm off to my hotel now. We've got some more flights to take tomorrow, but we'll have to leave it for now, I guess, and say bye-bye and go and subscribe to Miles.
Thank you.
I'll pop a link on the screen. If you like trains and buses, then this is your guy. Amazing channel. So yeah, check him out. And yeah, maybe we'll do something cool together at some point.
Let's do it.
Let's do a crazy Greyhound trip or something.
Right.
Cool, right, let's get to my hotel. Alright then, my hotel for the night, the Conrad here in Washington DC. I've not paid that much actually for this room. I think it was about $100 for the night or something, which for a Washington DC hotel isn't bad. But oh my days, would you look at this view out of here. We've got Christmas trees, we've got DC. I think the White House is just up there, I think, up that road there is the White House. Very nice indeed. And I've got a night here. And tomorrow we continue on my adventure to tick off the last 3 states now that I've got left. Now we've done Maryland and Delaware. And yeah, let's do a little bit more reflecting on this year, I guess. But for now, well, I'm going to sit and chill for a bit. And then in the morning, we'll take the next flight out of here onto the next state. So I will see you in the morning. Good night. Morning, it's bright and early here in Washington DC. Well, it's not bright, but it's early for sure. It's the same view as I had last night when I went to bed. But anyway, we're off to the airport now because I've got an early flight to catch. We've got 5 planes to catch today to get the rest of these 5 states. We've got 3 more states to go. Let's get downstairs and get across to the airport. It's quite frustrating actually. United for some reason won't let me check in online for my flights today. Maybe it's because I've got like 5 flights back to back with them across the country. But I've got to go to the airport and check in the old fashioned way, which means I've got to be even earlier this morning. Okay then, Washington Dulles Airport. I've never been to this airport before, strangely. One of United's biggest hubs, and I've never actually flown from it. I've never been to DCA, the one we came into yesterday, Reagan Airport. But anyway, let's go and see why we can't check in. Try and get a boarding pass hopefully for today. Set me across all the way eventually to the other side of the country. Hi, good morning. Thank you. I need special handling, apparently.
Oh, I just needed to see your ID.
Oh, of course. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
Yep. Alright, let's see. Okay. So that's it, right?
There we go, Denver to Cheyenne. Yep, amazing.
Okay,
thank
so
you.
let's put
We're
this
all
together.
good.
Is that okay?
That's perfect,
so
thank
we're
you.
Going to do Washington, you're here.
Yeah.
Washington.
Louisville.
And then to Louisville. Louisville to Chicago. Chicago.
Wherever that is, South Dakota.
Yeah. And then Denver. Wow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Need a folder to put them in.
I know. But I'm going to like do it like the old days.
Yeah, there we go. Get a little
tickets.
Peel them off. Yeah, remember those. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. Happy holidays as well.
You too.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Alright then, checked in all 5 boarding passes for today's flight. Yeah, always a way to confuse people when you've got like 5 flights to get to somewhere you could probably do in 1. Right, then time to head to the gate. First flight today would take me to Louisville in Kentucky, or as the locals call it, or something. I never quite understood that one. Anyway, we're off to now with United.
And everyone today, you're welcome to pre-board.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. All right, then, first flight of the day over to in Kentucky, state number 48 for me. It's an Embraer 175, and I've been upgraded to first class, which is quite nice, and I think they've upgraded most of my flights today, actually. Perks of being a 1K whacker, but anyway, we're on board. We'll be getting on our way soon. We had quite a short taxi out to the runway, and fairly soon we were taking off on a beautiful winter's morning. I've done some crazy adventures this year. It's been particularly interesting. I've done some really cool airlines. I've been to some really cool places too. I've actually done 3 circumnavigations of planet Earth this year. An entire round the world trip 3 times, plus countless other trips to various continents, various different places as well. In total, I've done, well, a lot of flights. I'll talk about that at the end of this video with my actual stats for the year, but it's been crazy. And it wasn't long until we started our descent into my next new state, Kentucky. Thank you. Have a good day.
Welcome to Louisville.
Thank you. Welcome to in Kentucky, state number 48. And my next flight is going from this gate here, but I need the bathroom first. So then is a big hub for UPS. And they've got a massive, it's like at the headquarters or something, and they've just got UPS MD-11s and 747s parked up. There's loads of them. They've got like half the airport is UPS, which is pretty crazy. I'm flying on something much smaller than that next though, and it's a new type for me, a new subtype at least, because I'm flying on a Bombardier CRJ 550, which is basically a CRJ 700, but it's got less seats. It's only got 50 seats as opposed to 70 something. So yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I've got 2 flights on that one now. The same plane is going to take me from here to Chicago, and then from Chicago somewhere else to state number 49.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you okay? You're a larger item.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you very much.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, you?
Right, then another flight, and another one I've been upgraded on. The flight from to Chicago, and it's about 1 hour and 20 minutes on this CRJ 550. Quite nice up here in row 1. Despite there not being many passenger airlines flying in here, Louisville is the 3rd biggest cargo airport in the whole of the United States, and it's full of Boeing 747s and 767s shifting cargo all around the world. The flight over to Chicago was pretty nice. We got served snacks and drinks on the flight, and it wasn't too long before we were starting our descent into O'Hare Airport in Chicago, Illinois. Right then, Chicago, Illinois. I've got about 1 hour here until I come back to this gate, because I'm on the same plane for the next flight across to South Dakota, my next stop. But First I'm going to go and get a bite to eat.
Now, whenever I'm traveling, you all know me by now, my favorite thing to do when I'm away is surfing, but not in this stuff. This is all wet and cold and horrible. No, surfing the interwebs. And whenever I'm surfing the interwebs while I'm traveling, it's great to have Surfshark by my side to protect my internet connection wherever I am in the world.
Surfshark's a VPN that secures and encrypts your internet access wherever you are in the world. If you're on public Wi-Fi, it protects you from people or companies snooping on your internet access. Some governments even block access to certain websites, but with Surfshark you can connect through a different country so you're still able to access the websites that you know and love. It also has a great benefit of letting you change the location that you appear to anywhere else in the world, meaning watching your favourite streaming shows on the go is even easier.
I can sit here on a beautiful beach and catch up on The Office on Peacock for the 15th time, because that's apparently what happens when you watch The Office.
Right now, Surfshark are giving you 4 months free when you use my promo code NoelPhillips at surfshark.deals/NoelPhillips. That's surfshark.deals/NoelPhillips.
Bootlicker! Our prices have never been lower!
Anyway, back to the video.
Those look almost as anemic as the Burger King ones I had in Istanbul airport that time. Was that this year? Maybe that was last year. I don't remember. It all blurs into one. But anyway, we're at the gate now waiting for my next flight, which is on the same plane I just arrived in to Chicago from. I've come in from, obviously, and now we're heading out to Sioux Falls in South Dakota, which is state number 49 for me. I've got 2 more left now, South Dakota, and then 1 more. But anyway, talking a bit more about this year, one of the biggest things I think I've achieved this year, aside from hitting like 500,000 subscribers at the beginning of the year, which is just crazy, and then 600,000 later on this year, which is even crazier. But anyway, thank you so much to all of you for that. But personally as well, my biggest achievement outside of the YouTube channel is the fact that I am now a instrument rated pilot, and that's what's taken up a big chunk of this year. 9 months of this year actually I've been working hard studying for my instrument rating, which I've now got. It's kind of the reason why I've not been filming so much for the flying channel this year, because I've been focusing just on learning and studying and cramming and getting all my hours done for my instrument rating. That's done now. Next step will be commercial, which will be kind of early next year. I'm thinking of starting that. Not got any plans to become a commercial pilot as such and work for an airline or anything. It's not really on my agenda, but it would be nice to get the certificate anyway. So that's my next one on there, and hopefully as well I'll be starting that flying channel again soon, starting some more content for that, because I feel like I've been working really hard and I need to start sort of filming a little bit and flying around a bit and having a bit of fun on that side of things as well, rather than just learning all the time. Anyway, I think we'll be boarding soon for the flight over to South Dakota.
Hello again. How was your wait?
All right, yeah, I went to McDonald's and had some lunch.
Oh, good.
So believe it or not, there's a problem with the nose here, and it's compressed down too much, so the first row have had to get off so that they can lift it up before we get back on. Hey, no worries.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
So then, my best and worst of 2024 in terms of the flights that I've taken. I think in terms of the best flight, it has to be the Gulfstream 4 that I flew on in Texas. That was probably the coolest flight of the year, and one of the coolest flights I've ever taken. That private jet, it was only an hour and a half long flight on a Gulfstream. It was on a Gulfstream 4. I mean, it was just insane. Other than that, I really liked Beyond as well. They were the all-business class airline based out of Dubai or the Maldives or somewhere, but it flew me from Zurich to Dubai. That was a really nice flight, and they were a really cool airline too. The worst flights of the year, I would say, I mean, maybe I should class Turkmenistan as being one of the worst, but actually, although it was a very strange, surreal flight, it was really fun and I quite enjoyed it.
I think the worst one, and not through any fault of the airline at all because they were amazing, but the worst flight this year was my flight home, at my repatriation flight, as it were, when I came down with pneumonia in France. That wasn't a filmed flight because I was too ill to film. I was in France. I was in the middle of a trip. I'd just flown in from Saint Pierre and Miquelon into Paris. I had a night there in Paris. And then I was really ill. I was supposed to spend a night in Paris and then go on to South Africa, then China, and then back home from there. I felt so ridiculously ill. I went to bed. I woke up at some point in the morning and I couldn't breathe in the middle of the night. No exaggeration, I honestly thought that was it. I thought that it was over. And I just remember laying in bed in Paris thinking, crap, how's Rachel going to find out? What's going to happen? How are the kids going to be? And it was scary. I just couldn't breathe. Could not breathe. I just woke up and it was like somebody had a pillow over my face. It was horrendous. Eventually managed to get my breath back again. Finally, later on that day, I was feeling slightly better, and I went downstairs to the airport to get checked in for my flight on, I think it was Ethiopian Airlines I was flying on. And I went to check in, I stood in line, and I almost collapsed again. And I literally got to the front of the check-in line and I said to the lady, I said, I'm booked on this flight, but I'm going to cancel it. She's like, but why? You can check in. No, the flight's going. I said, no, I'm too ill. I need to go home. So she removed me off the flight. Long story short, I ended up booking a flight back with Air France. I spoke to Rach. I said, what do I do? I'm halfway through a trip. I'm on the other side of the world. How do I get home? She said, get yourself on the first non-stop flight back to Houston from Paris in business class so you can sleep. I was like, okay. But that was going to be super expensive. And I was still looking for ways I could go via somewhere else and save a bit of money. And she's like, no, get a non-stop flight back, which in hindsight was the right thing to do. And I'm not happy. This flight ended up costing me $8,000 for a business class flight back from Paris, non-stop to Houston. Same day. I literally booked it in the morning, and then in the afternoon I flew home, non-stop, Paris to Houston on the Air France A350. It cost me $8,000. Fortunately, travel insurance ended up covering it. Because I got home, Rach picked me up from the airport. I don't remember much apart from the fact that I was barely breathing. I didn't know at this point I'd got pneumonia. I just thought I got a cold or something, And I just slept for most of the flight. Landed into Houston. Rach picked me up from the airport, took me straight to the urgent care. They x-rayed my lungs and they said, yeah, you've got pneumonia, double pneumonia actually. I ended up on oxygen and everything. It was not pretty. And yeah, that was probably the scariest flight, apart from the one where Rachel was ill. Like last year or whatever it was, or the year before, I can't remember. But this was pretty scary. Honestly, it was not a pleasant flight, and that's why that isn't my favourite flight. It's Air France business class. It should be nice, but I don't remember a thing about it. And I'm just fortunate that I did fly home, and I can't even think what would have happened had I got on a plane and ended up in South Africa or even China, on Air China. What would have happened if I just continued on and fell ill in either Africa or China or somewhere like that? No clue, but I didn't. I got home and I was okay. And it was a kick up the arse for me, and a bit of a wake-up call. I need to start looking after myself a bit better, really. Then started our descent down into Sioux Falls in South Dakota. It looks very cold out there.
Sioux Falls is the biggest city in South Dakota, but that doesn't make it a big city. The population is just 200,000 people. The airport's 3 miles northwest of the city. Thank you. See
Have a good day.
You too. Welcome to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, state number 49 now for me. One more left after this. It's flipping cold here. It's about 20 below freezing outside. Luckily I'm staying in here. I'm not planning to go out in the cold. But I've got about 2 hours now until my next flight. Onwards to Denver, where we connect on to the final state. So let's go and find somewhere to chill out and hang out for a little bit before we get the next flight. Most of the traffic here is through regional flights from Delta, American and United, but it does have flights from Frontier Airlines to Denver and also Allegiant Air who fly off to holiday spots around the country. After a couple of hours though, my flight turned up, this Embraer 175 that would take me across to Denver, Colorado. Hi there.
I can see it outside. Yeah, Noel?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Amazing, thank you. Have a good day.
Hello again.
Hi there. Hello. Right then, flight 4 of the day and flight 4 on United Express. It seems like that's what I'm flying on today. This one's going to take me across to Denver, Colorado, which is obviously somewhere I've been many times before. It's a lovely airport over there. But that's going to take me on then to state number 50 later on. But for now, we're saying goodbye to this cold weather here in South Dakota, and hopefully the palm trees and tropical beaches of Denver await us in an hour or two. The ride from Sioux Falls to Denver is supposed to take an hour and a half, but actually we did it in less than an hour today. It was a super quick flight across into Colorado, where we landed just as the sun was setting over the Rocky Mountains. Right then, Denver, Colorado. For some reason, that was supposed to be like a 90-minute flight. We were 30 minutes early here into Denver, so I've got like 3.5 hours or something to my next flight now. So, a bit of time to hit the lounge. Oh, there's a plane up there as well. So, I've come to the lounge here for a bit, by the way, to get a bit of chill time because I've got 3 hours. This is the United Club here in Denver, and they've got a lovely little log fire going here. Whiskey on the rocks, always good. I guess the thing is really, as we start to wrap up this video and I go into my very last state I need to tick off on my next flight, well, what do we do next year? How do I work things out? What have we got coming up? And I've got some really cool stuff planned that I really want to do. I've not really got anything booked yet for next year as it is. And actually, I'm thinking my way of being able to slow down a little bit and sort of ease this burnout I've been feeling really has been probably just to spend a few months doing a bit more stuff more locally. And when I say locally, I mean like in the US, Alaska, Hawaii, Canada maybe, even the Caribbean, places like that. I don't really fancy for a few months now doing anything particularly long haul. That's probably going to change, and I bet once we get past the Christmas period I'll be itching to get going again and fly again. But for now, I'm at the point now I've done 170 something flights this year, 170 odd flights in 1 year. Right at this moment in time, I can't even face the prospect of getting on a long haul flight again, if I'm completely honest. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay at home for a bit and just do stuff at home, fly for the flying channel, go and finish my commercial rating, do stuff for that, and just fly with the kids and with the family and stuff. I want to spend a bit of time at home because I feel so utterly burnt out, you know. But equally I'm itching to get going again, and this is how it gets you. It really does. But hey, we've got state number 50 coming up on the next flight. So I'm going to head down to the gate in a few minutes. We're going to get on the plane and enjoy the last bit of 2024.
and the last leg of the day, my final state, state 50, Wyoming. We're off to Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight on a CRJ 200, my arch nemesis. And hang on a minute, what are you doing here?
I came to bring you a present.
Oh, a Reese's tree. You've come all the way to Denver for that. Where are you going?
Wyoming.
You're going to Wyoming as well?
Yeah.
So you're joining me for a flight?
Yeah.
So Rachel, you're also off to your 50th state then in Wyoming?
No, it's not my 50th.
Oh, okay. But it's a new state for you then?
It is a new state.
Wow. And we're on the same plane. What
Who
are the odds?
knew?
What are the odds of that?
Who
That
knew?
a plane would come in from Houston and you'd be on it? Just while I'm here. Anyway, are you looking forward to going to Wyoming?
Yeah.
It's a SkyWest CRJ 200. You know I don't like CRJ 200s, Rich.
Oh, stop moaning.
Remember when I was on that one to Milwaukee and I moaned for the entire 35 minutes that we were on it?
Yeah.
We're on one again tonight.
I'm not surprised.
So you have to put up with me moaning and complaining for however long it takes. But anyway, we're off
Don't
to
you
Wyoming.
usually do that anyway?
Yeah, I'm always moaning. According to people on the interwebs anyway, I never stop. So.
Well, they know more than I do.
Yeah, well, you know that I moan a lot.
Yeah, this is true.
Anyway, hello there. Hi. Oh, be careful on there. Hi there. How you doing? Good, thank you. All right, then on board the crappiest plane in the skies.
Oh, don't stop moaning already.
CRJ 2. Look at it. Just look at it. Anyway, Rachel's with me. Hello. And no wheelchair assistance. What on earth?
No cane.
No cane, no wheelchair assistance. Tell everybody what's happened with you this year and why you are now able to actually get through airports and stuff.
So a combination of something called spinal flow, which has been significantly helping me to get my energy back, and also doing a lot of self-healing, and just embracing the self-health.
And the path to healing.
Yes.
And you really have this, honestly, right? So when you went off to Seattle, Washington to do this spinal flow therapy thing, I thought it was a load of woo-woo, to be honest. When you first did it, I thought, let her go and have a moment. Let her go off and have a moment and see if it... But honestly, you went up to Washington with wheelchair assistance and you came back without it.
Yes.
And you've never needed it any time since. You've given up your blue badge.
Yes.
In the car. It's been incredible. Spinal flow therapy. Anybody who suffers from fibro or anything. Spinal flow technique. I'll get it right because you're a practitioner of this now. This is how much you've fallen in love with it. It's helped us so much that Rachel's become a practitioner of this, and you've got your own practice that started up now in Houston. So if you're in Houston and you want to try it, give Rachel a shout. But anywhere else in the world, try it. There's other people, isn't there, all around the world?
There is. If you go onto the website, there are practitioners all around the world. Incredible.
It really is cool. And it's just amazed me. And it's given you a whole new lease of life, hasn't it?
Yep.
Which is incredible. Right. We'll see how you feel after you've done a 40-minute flight on a CRJ 200 because you might have to roll back and you might need your chiropractor when you get off this thing. But anyway,
just stop moaning.
It's not very long, this one. That's what she said. We're off to Wyoming. And so then the bit we've all been waiting for, just how many flights did I take in 2024? Well, it actually ended up being a record year for me in terms of my flights taken. This year I took 174 flights in total, covering every continent except Antarctica. I flew 227,000 miles, crossing the Atlantic 12 times and the Pacific 3 times, with 3 complete circumnavigations of planet Earth, on top of numerous other trips that I did. I set foot in 53 countries, flying on 71 airlines. 65% of my flights were in economy, 24% in business class, and a very lucky 6% in first class, although most of those were US domestic first class, which is a whole other subject. My most flown airline was United with 34 flights and almost 40,000 miles flown with them this year, and going into 2025 I now have status with 2 alliances, Premier 1K with United Airlines in Star Alliance and Gold status with SAS in the SkyTeam Alliance. For now though, it was time for me to set foot in my last state of Wyoming. isn't this a weird airport? It's like a jet bridge, a single jet bridge, and it sort of just goes down to the ground. Because at the end of it, it's here. And this is it. Cheyenne Airport, Wyoming. The largest city in Wyoming, and this is their airport. Wow. Crazy.
Small airport.
It is, yeah, that's crazy. Just like the one jet bridge.
You must not be from here.
Yeah, we're not from here. We live in Houston, so we the huge airport there. So. All right, here we are then. The bright lights of Cheyenne, Wyoming. State number 50. My last state. Yes, done it. That's been a crazy day. Alright then, welcome to Wyoming, State 50 for me. Not quite State 50 for Rach. You've got a few to go. Trying to add your state on. Wyoming, there you go. Tick that off. How many states have you done now?
33.
33, you're still doing alright. Say that you don't travel that much. 33, that's not bad. There it is, the last one. Wyoming. There is my America, complete. United States of America, completed it, mate.
Championship manager, completed, mate.
State number 50 finished. 2024 finished. The year is done. No more filming this year. And yeah, a bit of time off now, a bit of rest. Thank you so much for watching my crazy adventures, as always, throughout the entire year. Again, another year of doing this, the best job in the world, honestly, despite how much I complain. I really appreciate you all for watching my videos and watching me travel around the world and allowing us to have this life, and I'm sure that you do as well. And it's just so nice that we're able to do this. And again, have an absolutely amazing new year. Hopefully your 2025 is just absolutely amazing. I hope ours is as well. And well, in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next year. Bye for now.